Today we'll see about some redirection techniques in Visual Force, the key difference between the normal redirection and controlled redirection. Okay,
Yeah.
let's say Apex VF1. Okay, this is one of my page, and I'll say this is my second page. There are two pages. So created. I use a controller called controller VF redirect. So what I'm saying here is it's a VF redirect example redirect. Okay,
Yep.
create public class. I don't do much here. I'll try to very simple things. Apex form, Apex page block. I am from VF1. Apex command button, action, value, next. I'm saying a method called next here. Okay. So here what I can say, public page reference, right? Next, public page reference next. Okay, we have a method called page reference page equal to new page reference. What is our new page name? What is our new page name?
We have one.
VF2.
Oh, we are redirecting to that page.
Yeah, return page.
Okay.
So if I click next, it need to redirect that page, right?
Yes.
URL is changed, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let me go back, refresh. I missed one sentence called Apex stop. I need to mention this. Let's say if I go to next, I went to the VF2, isn't it?
Yes.
But you have this one. Let's see, I'll change this. Probably.
Oh, okay.
Public string name get set. I created one variable and I also created, I'm creating one constructor. Okay.
Okay.
VF, sorry, control Z, public redirect name equal to constructor. I'm saying constructor.
Okay.
The same name again I'll say next method. Next method called. So whenever constructor is loaded first time, so we had a constructor here, right?
Yeah.
So if I click on next, in the next page also what I'll do, I'll use the same extension for them. I'll use same extension, control. Okay, here I'll write another method called previous. Public, page reference previous. Everything is same, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Just URL changes.
Just URL changes. Here is the actual method we can see. Previous method called. Instead of vf2, we need to say vf1.
Yeah.
This is 1. And let's go to here. Instead of this one, I can say 2. Instead of next, previous. Yes, say. This is constructor. Let it be. Refresh it. This is constructor, right? If I click next, in the next step, what I am expecting, it should be previous. Next method called and where holding, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if I want to reload this page, because what happened, these pages are maintaining the state. Constructor is not reloading, right?
Yes.
If we want to reload your constructor again in the same extensions, then you need to use, because whenever I click a previous, I need to refresh entire method. I need to load my constructor here. I need to load entire my page, not just like navigation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Here we have a method called page dot set redirect true. If it is a false, your constructor will load only one time.
Okay.
Now if I say next method 2, if I claim page is refreshed, right?
Yes.
Before it was not the case. If I go next, URL also is not changing, same URL. Why same URL? Because both are implementing same controller. If you are implementing same controller, then redirection will happen within the same page. It will not initialize, it will not reload the page again. But if you are using a multiple pages or different constructors, different controllers, then page will reload again and again. But if you are using a same constructors, if you are using a same classes, Apex classes or extensions, so what you can see here, you will be utilizing a method called set redirect. If you want to force reload your page at one particular step, then you need to use set redirect.
Yeah.
So that the page will force it to reload.
Okay. So, is that okay to stay in same page?
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter to user, right?
Yeah, for developer, it matters.
Why? Because in the code edition.
Yeah.
But generally we don't edit code here. We'll edit code from developer console or now IDEs, VS Code.
Okay.
So let me open up something for you. This is the code base we'll write. This is how we'll start writing our codes. This is the tool where we can write our code.
ఇది బ్రౌజరా అండి లేకపోతే ఇది ఏంటి?
IDE. This is an IDE.
ఓకే, ఐడియా. ఓకే.
Okay. This is an IDE for Salesforce. This is not for Salesforce. It is an open source for everyone, and Salesforce suggesting to use, instead of Eclipse, to use VS Code.
Okay.
Okay. VS Code is the one we will be using. So this is clear when we need to use set redirect. If you are using the same controllers, the same number of controller and extensions in those pages, in different pages, if you want to do any force reload between those pages, you need to use a method called set redirect equal to
Redirect.
true.
True.
By default, it's a false for same controller and extension. Clear?
Yep.
What happens if the redirect equal to true? Again, your page will reload. It means that you are loading constructor back. You are not maintaining any state. You are, resetting entire state.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
So how you can leverage your Visual Force pages? Where and all you can refer? We referred in one place. Where we referred before?
Refer means
Where we utilize
Refer.
Visual Force we created, but where we are utilizing these Visual Force pages?
in page layouts we
In
can.
page layouts, in buttons, right?
Buttons. Yeah.
And you can also do like tabs, Visual Force tabs. If you go to tabs, we have a concept called Visual Force tabs. So you can create tabs using Visual Force.
Okay.
Redirection VF. So you have a Visual Force tabs. If you are creating anything on top of controller, right, how you can invoke force? Either you need to invoke through a URL from a standard pages, or you need to create a Visual Force page, Visual Force tab, so that users can interact with the Visual Force tab and they can think it's a functionality for them.
Okay.
Right?
Either we invoke in in standard objects page layout, or we can customize tabs.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when user comes, he never have an idea, right, with the Visual Force page or nothing. He'll think that it's a new functionality, it's a new tool for them.
Yeah.
These people always say, right, we have a tool called some automate tool which will send information, which will pull information from all objects. Why it will pull? Because you are writing your Visual Force page for them. It's a tool for them.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Now you can see it doesn't really differentiate between the standard tabs display and this tab display. It's always same.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to the lightning, again it is enabled.
Okay.
So you can access your Visual Force tabs even in lightning.
Okay.
Redirect VF.
Okay.
But the only you can see there is no inspect elements here.
To edit the code.
Yeah. And again you can see the page name is also different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
It really doesn't matter for them. I mean, in the URL concept, if you take in Lightning, then Concave. We should not work on basis of URLs.
Okay.
It will generate. But in Classic, it's straightforward. Your Apex means this is how it will come. No changes.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah. In real time, for Lightning, do they use this Visual Force?
No,
pages?
we don't recommend. If you are going with the Lightning, why you wanted to carry legacy application like Visual Force? If it is a project implemented like 8 years, 10 years back, if they have so much of functionality, then better we don't touch, because let it work as it is. But if something is a new development or a small can be convertible, we'll try to convert completely into Lightning components.
Okay.
Because the problem here is right, these two are two different version of systems. Classic is kind of a legacy and server based, and Lightning is a client based application.
Client base.
So
Yeah.
what happened? You need to compromise so many functionalities if you try to utilize cross versions. Like if you are working with a visual force in Lightning, you need to compromise with the events. You need to compromise with the force data synchronization. So you need to compromise so many places. But if you start working with the same component, you don't want to compromise. You can build whatever you want.
Okay.
Clear? So how many
Yes.
controllers I can use in Visual Force page?
Two types of controllers,
What are they?
standard and custom.
Okay, what is standard controller?
Standard controller uses both the standard and the custom controllers.
All S objects.
Yeah, all as objects.
Okay. So what is extensions?
Extensions, it is additional functionality. If we want to add additional functionality to the controllers, we can use extensions
How
to
many
add
extensions can I
additional.
have for one class?
We have multiple.
Okay. So what is a load way? I mean, how the controller and extensions loads together? Which one will load first and which one will load last?
Right to left.
What right to left?
So, well, like we have a multiple classes in extension.
Okay.
Let's say we have
No,
Apex 1, comma Apex.
I'm asking load between load. I mean, what is the load pattern in Visual Force pages? You need to consider controller and you need to consider extensions.
First controller, then extensions.
Okay, first, I mean, what about if you have multiple extensions?
Yeah, multiple extensions will load right to left.
Right to left, okay. So, if I have an input field, whenever I entered some text, I need to call my Apex method. What is your pattern?
Whenever we have an input field,
I have input field, I'm entering some text. Whenever I enter a text, it need to check with the Salesforce method. It need to invoke a method of Salesforce Apex.
those I still need to refresh.
Action support is the one which
Yeah,
helps
action.
on the events like
Yeah.
on key press and key down for the input fields, right?
Yes, yes. I remember those, but wording, it takes time. So I still need to refresh a couple of times.
Okay. So what is the written method for if you want to move from one page to another page through Apex? What is the
What
written
is
type?
for for page loading or for page forceful page refreshing or
No. Moving from VF1 to VF2. Navigating to other pages.
redirect page
No.
reference?
Page reference is a system class, system.page reference. So we don't refer system dot because you don't need. Page reference is a system class which will help to move from page one this place to the next page, and this method can only reference in a Visual Force controllers, not everywhere.
Yeah.
So this method is limited to Visual Force pages. Clear?
Yeah.
And why we need to have a set redirect?
To forceful reload.
Forceful reload, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what if I have a two different extensions of, I mean, two different controllers of two different Visual Force page, but while calling the next Visual Force page, I have a method called set redirect of false. So whether the next page will be loaded only methods or it will load constructor also.
So it is not going to load constructors. It
If I
will
have it
only
to
load methods.
actually, if you understand, the question is two different Visual Force with two different extension, two different controllers. Okay.
Okay, yeah, it will load. So
Even it never matters for that whether it is redirect equals false or true, because
false
these
or
are
true.
two different controllers which always enforce to load entire page again.
Yeah,
So redirect concept will work only if they are
only
any
for,
equal, same things.
yeah, if we use same extensions. Sorry,
Exactly.
same controllers.
Exactly. So that way, if you want to force reload, then use true, else make it false.
Fast.
If you
Yeah,
don't
false.
mention it, by default it's a false.
Yeah.
So clear this one.
Yes. Yeah.
Any questions on VF pages? Because this is the places where we'll use. Else you have anyway you always have a URL. So you'll use this URL to invoke. That's it.
Okay.
So it's something like we'll write in a command buttons, or we have like a buttons in accounts. Let's say setup accounts. I mean, in all objects we have again buttons are links, new custom button or link.
Okay.
Let's say redirect ex detail page link within the page. So we are saying URL. What is the URL?
Apex slash
Apex
VF
slash VF1.
1.
So this is a URL, right?
Yeah.
Now go to page layouts, account layout, custom links. Okay, sorry. Here I need to add checking for fields. Now what happened? This is available in account page, and now from here you can able to access redirect TX, right?
Yeah.
These are the custom links, the billing, custom redirect. If I click custom redirect, it will take you to a page where the functionality will open. This is how you'll. There are three places where we can refer our Visual Force pages to invoke.
Yeah.
One is in page layouts, one is in a custom button and detail link. The other place is Visual Force tab. The other one is invoking from a same Visual Force pages from one page to another page.
Another page.
Clear?
Yes.
So if you need any action, something you need to perform based on the events, you have two types of methods called action function and action support.
Support.
How action support will work for you? If there is an input field where they don't have an action, if we want to support for an action, what we'll do, input field, inside input field, we'll write a tag called action support with an event of particular event what you are looking, and then you are calling your Apex classes
Apex
methods.
classes. Yeah.
Whereas the action function is something like, if you want to call a JavaScript, validate it. If successfully true, then you can invoke action function. Action function ideally invoking from a JavaScript, isn't it?
JavaScript. Yeah.
And if you want to pass any information from Visual Force pages to Apex classes, you will be using a param tags. You will be using
Yeah.
a param
Parent
tags, which is
tags.
the information carriers between Visual Force page to the Apex classes.
Apex classes. Yeah.
So you do whatever development you wanted in the real time or whatever you say, but this is the only pattern the communication will happen. The way you think logically, the way you implement it, it's a page. But technically, these are the few things we have. You need to play with this, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Got
for
it.
a design and all, you need to write CSS, that's the next level. But the core functionality and the communication between the channels is always like a three ways. Either you can pass the data through a URL, like a query parameter, apexpages.currentpage.get parameters.get. The way you are reading your parameters from Visual Force pages params, the same way you need to read from a query parameters. Okay.
Okay.
But for Apex classes, how many ways you can pass your information? There are two ways that you can pass your information. One using URL parameters, the other one is Visual Force parameters.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I call action, Apex action through, whenever I load my page, I need to call one of my Apex method in Visual Force controller. How can I do that?
Whenever we call Apex method, we need to call
Whenever
Visual
I load
Force.
my page, I need to invoke one of my Apex method.
Invoking Apex method.
Yeah. So in page level, you have a tag called action.
Okay.
While invoking action in the sense, in page level, let's say, whenever I load my page 1, I need to go back to action. Next.
So we used to use.
So you can see, right? Even if I'm loading my page 1, it is taking to page 2, right?
Yeah.
Again page 2. Let's say, simple example, I'll make it as a false. Refresh. Previous. What happened? Whenever page is loading, the method is calling. Irrespective whether a controller is loaded or not, but this is loading, right?
Yeah. But it did not go to previous page.
It went to previous page because of the next method is coming back.
Okay. Okay. Again, next method is calling. So again, it is going to previous, but we are not seeing that.
We are not saying that because it's not available to your eye to see, right?
Okay. Okay.
Let's say I'll do one thing. I'll keep this action again, previous action in my VF2. What happens now? It's a loop, right? This will call that, that will call this. Cyclic
Server.
server side forwards detected. Because it's continuously forwarded here and there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is
Yeah.
error called cyclic server side forwards detected. This is an error. It means that your pages has been looped through. There is action whenever the page loads. There are actions which is making the pages loop.
Okay.
We need to observe that.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
This is the one error. Okay. But don't say to your interview that what kind of errors you face. Never say cyclic server side. If you are getting this error, that means that you are not a good developer.
Okay.
Don't say.
Yeah.
Now, how to edit by VF1?
So
I
in
can't.
real time, do we use? Do we invoke Apex?
Generally, what we do, we'll invoke action functions in action methods to call our web services. Let's say whenever I load a page, I need to get a status of my existing web service. That time we'll
Oh,
do this in a constructor. We can't do that, so we'll do from a methods.
okay.
So that it
Web
would be,
service.
yeah, web service in the sense whenever I started creating a new whenever I started creating a new object for this class, what happens? The web service will invoke again and again. To avoid such
Oh,
errors, what we'll do, we'll make a different method and we'll call that method in the action functions.
okay.
Maximum will you and instead of writing code in constructor, we actually write code in methods. That's it.
Okay.
Except object initialization and all will go inside controller. The basic memory setup. The like queries, the other set of data will be. Before loading this context, right, you will actually complete your methods.
Okay.
Even page also will not load. Before page load only, it will happen.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
What is events? What do you mean by
Events.
events?
Events is like action,
Sorry?
right? So events is like